What is up, guys? I am going to be looking at a replay review of Dubu's Bane in this recent TSM versus Liquid match from the Riyadh Masters. Real quick, I'm just going to talk about like where it was picked in the draft, and then we'll just jump into the game. I'm doing this because I just wanted to continue to develop like my own play, I think, at a high level. I've, kind of reached a peak MMR recently. I hit 7K, and, I know I'm not, like, instantly, like, just as good as everybody around me. I kind of, like, just got to this level, and I want to keep up my knowledge, and a good way to do that is check out pro games. This is something that I just don't do a lot, but it is really good to do, so I'm just going to do it. So we're going to be looking at Bane. I really like Bane as a hero, and I think I'm going to make another Bane video soon, in similar vein of like my recent like Ogre Undying Winter Wyvern, where I talk about how to play the hero at a high level. That's not exactly what this video is going to be. This is just going to be watching Dubu play Bane and see what we can learn from him. So jumping into it, here in the draft, they picked Bane and Caudle 16-17, these two picks in a row. So they had seen these three heroes, and they had Tiny and Night Stalker. I was thinking for a little while about like, why maybe they did this. I actually watched two Bane guides real quickly, one from Z Quixotic and one from Speed, just before making this video. Just making sure like I have a good grasp of like, what other high-level players like think about the hero. And I'll link those videos in the description if you guys want to watch them. They're fairly short and they have good information in them. And obviously Bane is a good setup hero, and like pros at high level use it for setup a lot. It's like a lane bully, and then it provides like setup and disable, and also some heal reduction, which maybe was a factor seeing like the Wyvern and the Dawnbreaker. Those two like both have like pretty important heal mechanics, so if you can enfeeble them to reduce the heal, that's really good. But also the setup is really good on heroes that like to play alone. Dawnbreaker is obviously one of the most busted heroes in this meta right now. And what does this hero do? It plays alone, right? So Bane can be really good at like punishing that, because you just provide like so much setup for your team. Nightmare lasts 7 seconds. A grip on top is another 5. So like if you find a hero, your team has 13 seconds to get to where you are and like help you out. So maybe those are the factors. It's also like, kind of good disable for these other high damage cores. And, I don't know. Dubu likes the hero. So let's jump into the game. Alright, so it's pretty common starting item build. A lot of pros are starting with the stick. I really like starting with the stick right now. If you're in a lane where they're going to be casting any spells, I just find it to be really value. So at a lower level, you might want to, depends on how much you think is going to be happening, right? What the heck? Oh god, my cat is like, I need to get out of this room. Here's the cat. You see him? This is Felix. He's annoying, but he is pretty cute. Get out of here. I was like, what is that noise? Alright, but yeah, the starting items, starting like a Fairy Fire and 2 branches is really nice. Something really notable on this hero that actually wasn't mentioned in either of the two guides that I watched before this is this hero's stats are like kind of a meme. They're all even, and he gains the exact same per level every level. So his base stats are always the exact same, and they're actually fairly high. So notice even just these +2, so for a total of 24 strength, this hero's at 680 base HP. That's nuts on a position 5 support, and he's at 5 armor. This plus the brain sap is what makes this hero such an incredible laner. Like, you actually are just tanky. You're a ranged tanky hero, which is like, what? And your base damage is like 60 with the Fairy Fire and the 2 Iron Branches. So like, that's what makes this hero so good at trades and so good in the lane. It also makes you surprisingly hard to kill. So those are the items. Like, you can buy mangoes if you need them. It kind of just depends on if you think the lane's gonna have a lot of spells, right? They have offlane Tidehunter. He's going to be getting a lot of spells that way. I'm sure he will fly himself some mana regen at some point, but this is like a nice starting item build. You can cast, Brain Sap's only 100 mana, so you can get like 4 casts of this out with 0 mana regen, accounting for your base mana regen. So it's not terrible to not start with mangoes, but I'm sure we'll see him fly some out. And you really do want to start Brain Sap. He hasn't skilled yet because like there are niche situations where, you know, maybe you find a kill with Nightmare, maybe you get a save. It honestly like kind of griefs yourself to like take Nightmare level 1 though in the lane. So I really like taking the Brain Sap. One thing that I'll note here is that pros will often go 0-2-4. But in pubs, I tend to get, I'm always like 0-4-2. Nightmare's obviously really good. Enfeeble is not that good early. Like, never take it. It costs extra mana for the extra ability, even though it's not a lot. And just not as high impact early on in the game. But in this game, we'll see. He probably is going to go 0-2-4. Because, like, in pros, it's just so that setup that he provides, like I said, the 13 seconds or whatever, if you can get that online at level 7... pros play around that really well. That's something that I like hitting 7k MMR recently and kind of being at this higher level. I should probably look to like in some situations go put more points in Nightmare earlier than I normally do. Instead, like, because normally, like I said, I'm 0-4-2. Obviously, high levels of Brain Sap are nice, but it's also less important at a higher level to like have a ton of points in Brain Sap. But like this trade, he's like taking hits from 2 heroes, but with like a Brain Sap and a Tango, like he evenly trades even though he's in a creep wave and being hit by 2 heroes. That's what makes this hero so strong. So now I'm gonna kind of, I just wanted to kind of explain some of those things about the hero for you guys. I might go over them again in the next video I make. But at this point, I do really want to actually see what we learn here. So I'll kind of talk about what he's doing, and then if I like am surprised by anything he's doing, then, you know, I will like talk about it. So he flew himself out of Salve, really smart. He's going to be trading a lot, and a Mango, not surprising. And also he's got 2 sentries now. So obviously he thinks like the camps are going to be really important in this lane. Why might the camps be really important in this lane? Well, Tidehunter constantly shoves in the wave with his Anchor Smash, and when offlaner shoves in the wave, the pause 4 will often be looking to pull the big camp here. He didn't block it early, though, with a sentry or his body. He was, like, fighting in the lane at the time, so he couldn't have blocked it with his body. He could have sentried it earlier, but he didn't. So obviously Tidehunter will eventually be pushing the lane a lot with Anchor Smash, right? But that happens, like, later, not right away. So Terrorblade, in contrast, when he hits level 2, sometimes you'll take meta level 1. Here, Reflection was taking level 1 because it's better for like trading early. And if you pop meta too early, they just like run away from you. It's not a huge deal. So a lot of pros will take it like level 2, and that will tend to shove out the wave. You're like being aggressive with meta, and you're kind of looking to shove out the wave at the same time. That could allow them, Dubu, to utilize the big camp like once, but then maybe he'll block it after. Because after that initial meta is over, and Ty gets a couple more levels, I'm imagining he'll probably be pushing into them a lot. Obviously, he also wants to make sure his small camp's probably blocked. Maybe that will be what, you know, after they push it out, either the hard camp or the small camp will be available. We'll see what he does with these sentries. I find it a little interesting that he committed to 2 already. So he's going to die here. Interesting. So they go for the Nightmare setup to try and kill the Tidehunter. And then the Marcy Boxy was really quick with the swap. Oh no. Not like this. Okay, he's got a wand. So he didn't really have gold to bring out any additional items. He didn't even buy the extra Tango, which is interesting. A lot of times in this situation, I'll like fill out the Tangos. This is a rough situation, right? You can't salve your carry up anymore because it doesn't work well. He could go for the small camp pull. I guess he just realized he wasn't there fast enough. I don't know why he didn't prioritize that. I doubt he like forgot. These guys are so good. Because it looks like he's going for the hard camp pull. Maybe he just wanted to be closer to the Terrorblade in case Marcy like, you know, mangoed up and like used her level 2 spike to like try and like go on him or something. So notice they did get the hard camp pull off, and with that ward he had placed, they saw the rotation from Marcy towards like mid, like they see the Marcy right now, so they're not afraid to like, you know, play aggressively here even though the Terrorblade's a little low. Accidentally drawing aggro, even pros do it. I I mean, he didn't like draw aggro there. The creep just like he was the closest thing to the creep when the creep decided to like find a new target. So notice he's like playing here in the lane, right? He's not like going and doing something else. When you have like a carry who's susceptible to getting gone on, you can't just like leave them alone. You know, unless it's like under the tower, right? You just have to like kind of hang around and make sure you're like a deterrent. Like if this, because if Bane walks away and the Marcy Tide like just, if they just gush and use the 2 Marcy spells, like it almost kills Tomono. Or like takes all his HP if Bane's not there. So here it is under the tower and he finds time to get a pull off, which is nice. Okay, he even is salving the Terrorblade. It's a little more value on Terrorblade than other heroes. Same with like Morphling, because they have such low base strength. So their HP pool is so low that 200 HP is not so bad relative to your overall health pool, versus like using it on like a Bristleback carry, you know, who's got like 1,000 HP, like 200 is not a lot. But you know, Terrorblade sits at like 600, 700 now. If you backpack that, it was. Alright, so here they save the meta. Just battling in the lane. Nothing crazy here. Kind of interesting to use that Tango there. A lot of times you do want to like use the Tango even when it's going to regen you over full, because you like trade during it and like take a little bit of chip damage, and then like at the end of it you're still at full HP, which is exactly what happened here. But he had 10 stick charges, and because I would think because you're going to generate more, you would be okay like losing a little bit of HP and then recovering the stick charges because you need that mana soon anyways, rather than like waste the Tango. So that's like very like advanced efficiency like things. What is this camera movement? Alright, going for a pull again. They feel pretty safe, I guess, from the Marcy. I don't really know where the Marcy was, but he didn't think it was a problem. Pull there. Let's take a look at that just because this is what we're here to learn. So, Marcy... Oh, they must have called that Marcy was mid. Okay, Marcy refilled the mid bottle, and so he immediately goes to pull. So, it's important to note these things, right? Like, why did he feel safe going to pull here and leaving his Terrorblade, like, in front of this tower when, like, there's a Tide with, like, full resources, like, right? Because if you go do this in your games and you don't know where that Marcy is, your carry is gonna feed, I promise you. So, seeing that the Marcy was mid, I'm sure their mid hero called it out too. It's like, oh, Marcy team made to refill his bottle. It gives him time to like go do other shit. This is interesting to me because normally I would farm this pull. Like obviously one of the purposes of the pull is to fix the lane equilibrium, but I tell people in my coaching, especially like the lower MMRs, like the others to like farm it, right? Like this XP and gold is like valuable to use as support. So like why do you not farm it? Obviously here the priority was to fix the lane, not to farm it. Why did he not farm it? He took this opportunity while Marcy's still not here to come defensively ward this area. And this makes a lot of sense to me because he's going to have a Terrorblade who's going to be retreating to the jungle, and obviously high level pros are going to look to punish that and like go find this Terrorblade while he's farming, right? This also provides like information on like, you know, the Marcy rotating back and forth once his tower is to fall, things like that. So I really see why this is a good ward, and I think you just have to be cognizant of like what your carry is going to want to be doing, and then like, you know, it's like similar with having an alchemist, right? Like where can you ward to defend your carry that's going to be jungling in a way that like, you know, protects them. So that's got to be with this ward. It sees the ramp, so if the Terrorblade's like farming up here or over here, this ward will like see anybody coming in, right? Or even if he's like here farming this camp, right? He'll like see anybody walking up the stairs and be able to like react, right? Like obviously if he's melee farming like right here, that wouldn't work, but like good cores like farm away from where the enemy might come from, right? Just your positioning while you're doing the jungle camp matters. So this ward will play for sure. And it doesn't scout this area, but this area is hard to scout because it's so common to put a sentry here or to put a sentry here to cover the high ground, and like this area, it's really hard to like cover these stairs. Like you have to like get it over here, like to be on this low ground. But yeah, so that would have been another option, but I think this covers like the more likely avenue for like, you know, here's to come in. And if they're smoked, will it help? Maybe. You know, the smoke will break. and the Terrorblade should have a little bit of time to get away or something like that. And he turns that into a rotation. You know, he did the camp, put down the ward. He turns that into a rotation to like play for the 6-minute rune. And notice he didn't end up using the stick charges, and he's used his passive regen along with his raindrop that he has now. So now he's got like his spell, and this will give him both spells if he needs it, and he didn't like need to use it earlier, right? And if he had used it earlier, he wouldn't have a burst of HP right now, and he would have been at full HP anyways. So I noticed that high-level pros, they really get a lot out of their base mana regen. Like, they'll just, like, not do something for, like, a minute, and it actually just gives them enough, like, mana to, like, do stuff without, like, flying out that clarity or, like, that mango or whatever. Raindrop's really good on Bane. Not surprised you bought this item. Just the passive regen is nice, and going back to, like, your base stats being really good, and plus Brain Snap, like, it just makes this hero incredibly hard to kill. Like, the effective HP of a 5 armor hero with raindrops and, like, 10 stick charges is actually just massive. Like, it actually just takes so much damage to kill this support, you know, compared to other supports, especially, like, these ranged spellcasting supports. Alright, so he goes back to his lane, which is important, right? Don't leave your lane forever. He secured the rune, and he's going to go back to the lane, right? Where can you be most effective? Bane is not like a rotate and like gank hero for the most part. Marcy's bottom. So what do you do when you can't really kill their offlaner and you're up here? Like, how do you take advantage of this situation? Play for like pulls and stacks. Just play for the jungle, right? It'd be nice if we got a pull. It's an interesting circle. I don't really know what he's thinking here. Okay, so he TP's bottom here. This is interesting. They've got the nighttime on Night Stalker. He's playing out of vision. This is like nighttime. The enemy doesn't see him, presumably, unless they have like a ward here. But presumably they don't see him. And so what happened is Caudle and Tiny are smoked mid. So he's basically down here like protecting his Night Stalker. Because they're not playing to him, or are they going to play to him? So they are connecting towards him, and he's looking for his Nightmare to like just set up. There's the Nightmare. Basically they get to kill one hero. Whichever one doesn't take the Nightmare, they get a kill. So Boxy decides to take it and try and save Insania, but Insania's not. Okay, so that play was to leave top, ignore it. Terrorblade's under no threat from Tidehunter, and they're happy to let the Tidehunter just get some farm and ignore him, basically. And that was an aggressive TP, not right away. It took some time for Tiny and the Caudle to rotate over. And, maybe they were hoping for more than the supports. Maybe they're hoping to find Wyvern. I don't really know. But they found who they found, right? They didn't go on the Spectre, which would have, like, forced a huge reaction. They, like, kind of went for the play here, which wasn't near a tower. So it, like, made it, like, not really feasible for the enemy to, like, react. Whereas if they go in the Spectre, like, in this lane here, right? People will TP, cause a big fight. Maybe they didn't want to do that, right? Tide TPs with Ravage, not where you're looking to start. So pretty high level move, obviously coordinated. Like, this isn't something that in pubs I don't think would work that well. Because, like, how often are you going to, like, be able to ditch your carry safely, knowing that your carry is going to, like, farm smart and be safe if they don't see any heroes, while your mid and your 4, like, smoke from mid down to you, and you, like, walk over to connect while your offlaner's, like, showing and, like, making it less obvious. Pretty hard to pull off in a pub, but it's still important to understand why they're doing things, and that will translate. So it looks like he's going to look to stack now. They're ganking the Terrorblade. That's unfortunate. As a support, there's nothing you can do in that scenario. Like, ideally, ideally your carry just kind of more aware of what's happening on the map and is playing a safer part of the map, but, I'm not flaming to mono. Wow, my cat's now meowing from outside the door. So Tide Ravage and then TP bottom. So he is going for the more points in Brain Sap this game, which is interesting. I guess she's just valuing the damage. Maybe they're worried they're going to have a little bit of damage worries. It also, like, you know, restores more HP too, so it makes you harder to kill in turn if you're a little worried about that. So they kill the Wyvern, who's under the tower. They know that they don't have Ravage, so it's kind of an interesting play from Liquid to, like, try and defend this tower, or, like, have heroes down here against, like, the Night Stalker, like, tiny lineup, right? Like, these heroes are just gonna run at you if you don't have, like, spells to deter them. And they really don't, so kind of interesting movement from Liquid, but this is, like, good punishment from TSM. Dubu's not doing anything, like, incredible. So we upgraded to full wand, the stats are nice. They still never used the stick, just getting so much value out of the raindrop and passive mana regen. And he picked up the Windlace too. Windlace is really nice, it just helps you, like, get in position to set up better. I mean, if you can, like, slot it in, it just feels really nice. So, look at where he's playing. He's just looking to, like, play setup. That's funny. So I guess he was looking to set up, decided they couldn't set up on the Tide. You know, like, he'll just, like, crack and shell off Fiend's Grip or something. Didn't see any other opportunities. His team's farming defensively, so he takes the opportunity to just reset. He did kill, like, 2 creeps down there. So we got 2 creeps, a farm, but then dips. So it picks up the smoke. Dude is really good about, like, always, like, picking up the smokes and, like, having them ready. I want a Trusty Shovel to be buffed to where it, like, will drop, like, smokes or wards. How cool would that be? Like, I had a chance to drop one of those. Support Wet Dream, right? So he smokes with his team, looking to make a play on the Spectre. This is kind of what you want to do with Bane when you have grip, so this isn't, like, surprising. This is, like, normal play. They are collapsing on the Spectre. The Tide comes in and breaks the smoke, so this is, like, kind of a nice read from Zai, I guess. And they immediately back off, like, you know, when the enemy TPs their offlaner with his, like, ultimate, like, to the area, usually you don't want to, like, fight them. Yeah, and it kind of predictably goes really bad. Really weird. I mean, like, they did back off, right? Like, what happened here? I think they just kind of maybe thought they could, like, kill the Tide real quick? Like, I don't know why they're not in full retreat mode. I'm not really sure what Bryle's doing. Like, is your read that you can burst through this 1500 HP with an Illuminate and a Tiny combo? Because that's obviously not happening. So, I'm not really sure what their read was here. Seems like a terrible attempt. I think they got him to, like, a third HP. Like, that was not close. So yeah, don't do this in your pubs. Like, they went for the play on the smoke, right? That was fine. It got broken. So, like, then you just need to back out, right? Because they TP'd their strong offlaner up here, which isn't ideal. Like, this is not where Zai wants to be. They, like, just kind of read that play. So as soon as it happens, you just have to, like, kind of let them be inefficiently placed on the map and, like, spread out and go, like, to the rest of the map. So if that were me, like, and that same situation happened, I would have been telling my team to get the fuck out. And maybe Dubu was, and it's like, you know, maybe it's Tiny made the executive decision to go for the attempt anyways. Like, I don't know. So there's Tranquils. Kind of interesting to me. I guess this is because of the Coddle. Like, the Coddle's going to be spamming mana on people because the mana boots are really nice, but if you think that your Coddle is just going to be giving people mana, because it's not just nice for you, it's nice for your team too, especially, like, heroes like Tiny and Night Stalker do like getting mana boots, although I guess eventually Night Stalker buys Shard and then it doesn't matter, but I would assume it's more related to, like, the Coddle than anything else. Like, I wouldn't particularly expect him to, like, go Tranquils often, like, without a Coddle. Like, I don't think that's really a thing. Alright, so he's just defensively chilling while his carry farms Triangle. They're usually gonna, like, tank a smoke, honestly. You know, they don't have Ravage, but, like, pro teams will make moves without, like, big spells because it'll, like, catch you off guard, right? If you're like, oh, they're not gonna do anything because they don't have Ravage, and they, like, show up with 4 heroes in your Triangle to gank your TB, right? That happens. So he's, like, kind of taking the smoke gank there, which I think is a pretty valuable use of the time, and he doesn't have grip, right? So it's like, what do you do in this situation where you don't have grip? You play defensively, like, kind of behind a core, or in front of a core. Like if he was playing behind this Night Stalker, for example, you'd be playing behind him, right? And if they look to go on him, you like try and save him because you're like under a tower. But here in the triangle, it's a little more exposed, especially like a smoking. So you play in front of them, and you're happy to die if they are smoking. So here again, he's going for the D ward. Doesn't see anybody. This is like kind of an attention-getting play. He's like kind of okay with finding people here. He's like, A, we find somebody. If they're alone, then we kill them because I like nightmare for 7 seconds while my team connects. And B, if they're not alone, right, it's like information and space for like my Night Stalker, who's like kind of dangerously pushing out during the daytime, like just waiting for nighttime, right? It gives information to this TB, who can like then back off. So kind of either way, like it's not the worst thing in the world if he dies here. And notice how much time he bought with like just the brain sap, and popping the wand. He does end up dying here. They are all really low, but they don't have meta either, so pretty sure the call here would be to like get out. It's hard because you know your Night Stalker's not going to show up. Okay, so off this ward, they're going to get one pick off on the low HP position 4. The Night Stalker pushes up too far. It's really important to like not finish whatever you're gonna do. Like he was gonna like de-ward this, right? And then he saw something happening and you just gotta like run straight to it. I have this problem actually. I will like finish farming like whatever camp I'm at or like whatever. Like, it's okay if I'm not there like for an extra 2 seconds. And like it's really not. It's really not. It's really important to be there ASAP. It's just so impactful. Like seconds matter in this game so much. Especially at these higher levels. It's kinda like lost the thread of like de-warding that cliff. Or maybe he wasn't looking to de-ward the cliff. Maybe he just wanted to make sure they didn't have anything like kind of around here. Or maybe like Coddle check the cliff or something, I don't know. Just being annoying here. They're kind of like waiting for nighttime, and his team's like kind of looking to make an aggressive play top. And, you know, for whatever reason, he was the one left to like kind of show mid and defend, right? So that this tower doesn't take like free damage, right? That's the goal here. Sometimes, you know, as Bane with grip up, ideally it's not you, but sometimes it's going to be you, right? And this is also really important here, is to not just sit under this tower. Like, a lot of people, I think around my level, or maybe even just a little bit under, because I'm learning this, and hopefully this will help make me a better player. But, like, a lot of supports here, even, like, ancient, or, like, divine, like, high divine, low immortal, they'll do this, because they understand it's important to like have the lane, and I've done this recently too. It's hard to not do this, but you just sit here and farm it, right? You like feel safe under this tower, but you got to realize when your team is like not here, like they're not around you, nobody is gonna come try to defend you if you get gone on, because you're showing, right? You're showing under their vision. So if they just, and you're at the mid tower, right? The enemy would love to take this tower if they can. So if you just sit under this tower as a position 5, like farming it, you feel safe, but you're actually not. And it's super important to do what he does here and draw the aggro off. Ideally the range creep comes, but it's not the end of the world. And play super defensively. So he's doing the job of like not allowing this tower to like take a bunch of free creep damage. He's showing. So like it kind of like, yes, it lets the enemy know that the Bane's not going on them, but also like it makes them think that his team's doing nothing, right? And maybe they are, but maybe they're not. So he draws the aggro off, and now this engagement's starting, so he immediately looks to like connect before like, you know, finishing the creeps. He's not worried about the next wave, it'll be fine. Like his tower's not gonna take damage, which is the important thing. And so now he looks to connect over. Kind of too late. His team is a little too spread out still. And it looks like it was in the, you know, replay vision. They had a nice ward that they were playing off of, so not too much you can do about it as the Bane in this position. This ward here is really nice. I think Moon Meander just placed this one. But this is really nice to like just, if you are going to take a fight in this area, this is like nice. It won't get de-warded because they can't take this outpost. They're going to be looking for wards like here, right? They put their sentry in the same place Dubu did. So they're kind of looking to like play around this ward because it's nighttime and they've got grip. I don't know, it doesn't look like any major spells were used. Well, Haunt was used. Haunt was used, and they probably called out the Dawnbreaker hit ulted as well, or didn't have this. So they're okay like trying to take this fight, because Spectrism Haunt is not there, and they're really strong with like Night Stalker at night. And you know, maybe this isn't a full fight, but they've got grip, right? So it's like maybe they can do it, and it looks like they can't. They did show up with all 4 heroes. If they had showed up with not all 4 heroes, they'd only showed up with 3 heroes there, that probably could have gone in TSM's favor. With like the grip plus the Night Stalker like being a strong factor. So they lose another hero. This game's not going particularly well for them. They're just getting picked off around the map, but their TB is free farming. So let's just have this up. See how far ahead the TB is. It's like kind of what their play has gotten them. And they're definitely playing for like a timing this game of like, you know, the TB is going to carry them. And their TB gets like an 18-minute Scotty, I think, this game. All right, so what does Dubu do now? Kind of just tanking a smoke gank again. Like, that's what he's doing to me. This team's not making a play. Night Stalker must be close to an item? So this Night Stalker is going first item Ags. Just Courier. He's going first item Ags. So it looks like they're just chilling. I guess they're just super happy to just chill and wait for the TB to farm. Like, that's what this playstyle says to me. Because they have grip. It's nighttime, Night Stalker has ult, and yet they're just like farming. So they must just be really confident in, you know, their ability to like be strong later. He's kind of just doing some aggressive dewarding, and this is interesting because like, well, okay, so there's 2 things happening here actually. One is if he finds somebody like a lone hero that's important, his team could like come connect, right? His tiny is actually close enough to connect if he like nightmares into grip somebody who's like alone. Although they have a Dawnbreaker, so like it doesn't necessarily work that well, but like potentially he can do that. The second thing is when you're playing in this way where you've got like cores farming, right? You are happy kind of as a position 5. Like he was smoking, he was looking to tank smoke ganks earlier to defend his cores, and here he'd be happy if like 3 heroes like showed up and like tried to kill him, like, right? If he is under a ward and they draw like the Winter Wyvern and the Tide down here, you know, that just like gives so much space and information to like his team. So like he's like just kind of aggressively chilling down here. Like he knows they see like that they could see this D ward happening. Even though it's just a sentry, right? They'll like know that their like wards fell, and it doesn't work. They're making an aggressive play on the Night Stalker again, but like he, you know, that's just like what he's hoping for. And he didn't like shove in the lane. Your hero doesn't really do that on Bane, but you know that's kind of what he was going for. So this is interesting. They look to possibly kill whoever comes mid, right? If somebody else had TP'd here, like the Wyvern, they would have gone on him 100% with like grip plus tiny being close by. The Tide is the one that TP's in though. And they're like, obviously we're not going to kill the Tide. So he instantly TP's to his top tier 2 and runs to the Spectre. This is a really heads up play. The only problem is vision. They have some really good aggressive vision down on Team Liquid, which totally prevents this from happening, but that was what he was looking for, right? In a pub, that play probably works. I'm not saying that like Dubu shouldn't have done it because it's like only a pub only play. Like this, you have to like go for these, and it just punishes if they don't have the proper wards up. So the play there was to just run at the Spectre. He probably could have even smoked himself, but Liquid totally had the vision to like appropriately play around it. And they're still playing up here because they've got all this vision up here. So he dies again. Not the worst thing in the world though. His cores are still farming. His Terrorblade is massive. Although it is going to come down to like Terrorblade, right? Like if Terrorblade, like this is one of those games like if your carry dies, like kind of just lose.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
So he's running with the shovel, still got the raindrop. Going Agadins. That's what he's got queued up. We'll see what he actually ends up going. Sometimes you queue something up and you change your mind. So they're looking to defend this mid tower, possibly. But it looks like they still don't want to. I believe that, like, you'd look to defend this with like an item time. So they have TB Scotty, but it's really this this Night Stalker, right? This Night Stalker just has not hit a item timing that they feel comfortable fighting around. Interestingly, he's level 12 and he only has 2 points in Dark Ascension, or 1 point, I mean. But basically, he's going Ags for whatever reason. and they're just not looking to fight if their Night Stalker's not ready to fight, which makes a lot of sense, right? You know, if you've got a core that doesn't want to fight, it's hard to like actually play Dota normally as if you have your whole team ready, right? You can't like just play a 4v5. All right, so he does some dewarding and then TP's bottom, looking to get an aggressive pickoff on this Spectre, who's like probably going to be alone away from her team, right? Because that's what Spectre does. They didn't have Spectre in the draft when they picked the Bane, but like I said with the Dawnbreaker, it's a hero that plays away from its team, so that you're like your setup potential is like really good. So they see the Dawnbreaker, so they don't want to go on the Spectre here because the Dawnbreaker is pretty close. They're going to see if the Spectre walks up any more.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So they send the Illusion down the lane. He's kind of just camped here. So again, this like defends the Terrorblade, although they have the vision, and it kind of just like waiting for the Spectre to hopefully show again. You know, if the Spectre's like not playing appropriately safe, they like get a pick off here for sure. Looks like Ana is playing appropriately safe though, for once. Lol. Again, some aggressive dewarding in the enemy jungle. This is super dangerous, and he is gonna die for it. But this is what I'm talking about, right? Winter Wyvern, Spectre Haunt, Dawnbreaker's down here. Like, how much space does this make? And like, I'm not saying to like go, I'm not saying like my lesson here is like takeaways to go feed and like look for wards, right, on Bane. But like this is like the play style, and honestly, this play style they're doing in pubs doesn't really work because like people just tilt and get bored and will complain that nobody's doing anything, right? This is like a 5-man cohesive strategy, not just like one guy deciding he's going to AFK farm. So I don't know if it's that applicable to like pubs, because you just really can't play this way in pubs without people like freaking out. But, you know, maybe one day. So, like, does he want to die? Like, no. But, like, is he happy that he drew 3 heroes down and got the D-ward? Like, yeah. Like, that's a fine death. So he's picking up the apple. Really nice item just to tank you up. Like, this hero is surprisingly hard to kill. Like, it's going to have 1340 HP. Still running with a raindrop, plus the brain sap. And eventually, once you get your level 10 talent, like whichever damage type you're worried about, it just makes you so hard to kill. It's crazy. So playing behind is Tiny here. This is what I talked about earlier, right? If you're like defensively positioned, like he's not taking a smoke, right? Like he's just ready to react if they do go on him with like a nightmare save. This team can TP in or something. Just play behind the core in that scenario.
Gold remains.
Kind of scouting information here. Nice little ward to get down. Okay, it appears they are actually ready to make a move. This is the first 5-man move of the game at 22 minutes with a Scotty BKB time. That's insane timing from Tomato. Oh my god. Treads Yasha. Obviously, he disassembled the D-Lance to get the Blackened Guard, but like, Treads Yasha Scotty BKB, and they're smoking at 22. Like, that is nuts. What a timing. And they do finally have the Ags on Night Stalker. So this is what, you know, like, smoke around your timings, right? That's not an advanced concept. Like, I'm not learning anything. I know that. But, like, just, like, these timings, like, lined up. They both just got these items, and they're immediately going for the play, right? Because they have all their ults and, like, meta, right? If you didn't, you'd have to wait. But they're looking for like any fight right now, and they feel really strong. So they get the pick off. He's happy to use the grip to like prevent a curse from coming out or something. And they get the Dawn as well, who try to save. And so they walk straight into the Roche Pit off this timing. And they've used the meta, right? So they're just like, anybody that wants to fight us, they can fight us, and we'll fight them back because we've got like all of our items. And so now they have the Aegis, and I would expect them to kind of chill here. They're not going to have meta, they're not going to have NS ult, it's daytime, so they're like full chill mode until it's like nighttime and they have their abilities again. And see Liquid smoking because, you know, it's like, what are they going to do? They don't have meta, they don't have Night Stalker ulti, it's daytime. Like, we have... So honestly, somebody's probably going to die here. And Dubu, actually, this is like really nice that he's just showing here. He's like, please come kill me and not my team. Please kill me. Because he knows his team's just chilling. Looks like they did show mid, so he instantly TP'd to react. His team kind of gets away. They played really nice and defensively. Nobody was like in the triangle, which is where that smoke went to. And now he just followed his team around.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Notice he did not finish the Ags. Queued up a Glimmer. Nice item against the Winter Wyvern. He has a hard time like killing you. Also Spectre, right? Spectre like is gonna haunt you. Glimmer helps you get away.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Has fallen. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
So they like transition. So they played really defensively. Sorry, I'm just gonna backtrack and we're just gonna note this. So they're playing defensively and he's showing on aggressive farm, hoping they come kill him instead of his team, right? He's happy if they were to like gank him with 4 heroes here, just like when he was bottom, right? They dodge the gank barely. Tomato like gets out. Pro danger sense. Dubu TP's in. And they've got nice arc ults in 45 and meta in 30. So they like slowly make their way to the aggressive part of the map. And like they know that like Liquid is here, right? So they can move out onto this part of the map, and then by the time they get here, like now, right? Meta almost up. Nice arc ult, pretty close. And grip is up, so plus they still have the Aegis, right? And you know, they took this tower. Not a huge commitment, so like Liquid wouldn't necessarily be looking to defend this tower with a bunch of heroes either. They got the kind of easy objective, and now they're really strong. Now all their abilities are off cooldown, so they're going to be looking to play aggressively. So Dubu's camped here, looking to get a solo pick off, right? They're going to push out the lane's bottom, and he's going to wait here and see if he gets a pick off. Night Stalker is using his vision. He's going to farm aggressively. Interesting. I guess it's because they see Zai mid. They're like not that worried. Okay, so the Coddle Tiny push out a little bit and then connect, and they're just aggressively placed on the opponent's side of the map, kind of occupying the triangle, top and mid areas. So a fight happens, and he's very, very patient. His team's got the Aegis, his team's got BKB, the Night Stalker's not going to easily die. His goal is to not get gone on during this like initial haunt, like kind of burst, right? Once this haunt's over, he's like, okay, they've used some spells. They used Ravage already, right? He's like, I can grip anybody. And so this patience is really nice from him. They lose the Aegis. That's okay. Nightmare's one hero. And he tried to get the grip off. And it was a really nice blink out from McKay. So he grabs the Marcy just to make sure he doesn't like rebound away. Secure the kill. Feeble sap out. And yeah, they clean up a super nice fight. He didn't even end up having a ton of impact. But that's just how far ahead they were like with the timings, right? They didn't burst down Tomato because he had the BKB. They only got the Aegis, and then they respawn. And like the supports are available to like kind of clean up the fight. Or like be there to provide the support as like the course of the fight, I should say.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The wages of fear.
So he finishes the Glimmer, and they're kind of looking to set up bottom if only one hero shows. Multiple heroes show, so he chills. He's looking to he's positioned aggressively though. He's like looking to like, you know, set up on a hero down here. They're still strong. They don't have meta quite yet, but it is nighttime. They have the BKB on Tiny now. So they really are just looking to be aggressive, and they know they're ahead, right? So when you're ahead, you gotta like choke them out. Don't give them too much. So he TP's away from bottom to join his team. Looks like the call's made to like kind of fight with the team mid instead of like connect bottom. The Night Stalker TP's over as well, and they smoke. So this is a nice smoke because the lanes are pushed, right? They got mid pushing in with an illusion, bottom's pushed out all the way, and top is not pushed into them particularly far. So really nice map positioning to smoke. And when your map looks like this, you can kind of go anywhere, right? They have really good vision too because of this ward. It's like pretty sick. It's an interesting spot because like no pro like sentries the high ground. Not never, but like it's very common to like sentry like this area here, or even like here to like see like this area, and like this, right? You want a sentry to catch like the cliff, so there could be a sentry here, and it just would not catch this ward. So this is like a nice ward. I don't know who put that down. Might have been Moon. I don't think I saw Dubu do that. So they have like all the vision in the world here. It's like the most perfect situation for a smoke. And they just kill the first people they come across. This girl, I'll say there. So his team's chasing up. He's kind of looking down. He's playing away from his team, looking to catch like that one more hero, right? Like one more hero could be like coming to push out mid real quick while they see like 4 heroes chasing the Spectre, right? It's not crazy to think that like one of the other heroes would like try and shove this out greedily real quick, and Dubu's positioning would just completely punish that because if he finds anybody, he just nightmares and like catches them. So that's what he's looking for. He's just looking for anybody else. Like he does not chase this. That's not what his hero's good at. His hero's good at like finding that +1 kill, which is what he's doing here. Really nice. Really nice. This works a little bit less well in pubs because like what'll happen is like your team won't react to what you're doing, and then their team will react to what you're doing, and then you could like die. But you know, it's probably works out pretty well in high level pubs, and it's something I could probably look to do more. And look how aggressively he's just looking for anybody and just playing away from his team. It's a nice little sunder there. Okay, so they go in the Wyvern, don't find anybody, and this is really good positioning, right? Like they showed heroes bottom. So, like, somebody could feasibly show top, right? They might feel safe doing it. Maybe not now with TB illusions here. Meta TB illusions. Well, that's a Manta illusion, I guess. It wouldn't be meta anymore. After a certain amount of time has gone past, like, you don't want to keep camping here because that is given time for the opponent to, like, react, right? And your team's, like, not all in position. You're, like, going for a quick pick off if it's available. If it's not, kind of reset and look for a different opportunity. So he was moving towards bottom to, like, kind of go for the same type of play but bottom instead of top. And, you know, he just happens to be in the area as his NS gets gone on. So he nightmares. Who did he nightmare there? What just happened? So he's silenced. Nightmares the Tide Hunter, just like immediately broken. Okay. Saves his Glimmer a little bit, but then uses it on himself, and he gets picked off. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate positioning on his part because, like, I don't think he thought they were about to go on his Night Stalker there. He would have positioned differently. So it's kind of a good play from Liquid, but the Night Stalker did get away, and all they got was the Bane, and he does have buyback, so I'm sure he's happy to like use his buyback here if like a bigger fight breaks out. Skipping ahead. Five-man smoke. Lanes are good. You'll see this a lot. I mean, bottom lane pushed in really well. Top lane, enemy has not pushed it out very far because they're behind, right? It's hard for them to like come up here and do this, otherwise they'll just get picked off. And the TB illusion. This is why TB is so good. Wait, is that not an illusion? No, it is an illusion. It's just a weird replay thing. And the illusion is pushed out mid. It's part of what makes TB so good. It's so easy to have good lanes. And they've got all their abilities, right? So they feel super strong. As long as they don't get like 5-man Ravage set up on, they're like super good. Alright, and so Liquid smartly is like not engaging into this. They like kind of have a read of the smoke's happening. It's not too hard, right? Like you don't see any of them. You see, you have to play really defensive. And so this is like high level Dota here. It's like you send one hero to go push out top. Oh, you're coming top with a bunch of heroes.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Kind of interesting. Like what I would have thought to do in like a pub is like you controlled this area and they all left, right? Yes, you need to fix your lanes at that point. So you could send like the Coddle to like come fix this lane real quick. But in the meantime, you could just like camp this ward. I guess maybe they didn't have enough sentries to like gain full control over the triangle and didn't want to like take a potential fight like under the enemy's vision, right? Because you can like, they dewarded this, it looks like, but like, you know, any other spot, well, got decent vision down actually. I'm not really sure why I didn't just camp this ward. Maybe they just didn't want to take a 4v5 if like one hero who's pushing on top isn't there? This results in like this nice fight for Liquid. But here's the thing, is like Liquid does this, and like depending on, you know, wow, see, everybody's just gonna go there. This guy's nuts. Wow, he lives. The Connell bought back, but he was not, because like he can't be there. Like it's really hard to like, having buyback doesn't matter. This is where your team's taking the fight. So I guess just TSM like felt strong enough to take this fight like 5v3. Just because they didn't have Ravage and Haunt anymore? Oh, weird. Really weird. I feel like you just wait for your supports to respawn in that scenario, and then you can just run at them and do whatever you want because they don't have Ravage anymore. I guess they had meta'd and they wanted to use it, take advantage of the meta? No, I don't think he had meta'd yet when they like decided to go back in. I think it meant like during that. Very weird. This is like not what you want to be doing now. Now you're like down like multiple heroes, die back. Very strange play from TSM there. I don't think there's anything to learn from Dubu's perspective though. He just kind of got gone on and then it was a really janky fight that ended up going terribly. Really weird play. So fast forward. TB's keeping tops pushed in with his illusions. Liquid gets through Roshan. TB's pushing out bottom while that's happening. Alright, wait. Bane's respawns. Let's back up. So Bane respawns, no TPs. Got the BKB queued up, which is really nice, because then nothing, they can't cancel your ult unless they like have a basher on Spectre. If you can ever get there. Let's see if he ever gets there. So he's like kind of like just tanking in front again. What a weird place to run to, because they just got Aegis. They still have a dead Caudle, and they smoke on 3 heroes. I guess maybe they're like sort of reading that like Tomato's gonna get gone on. They like don't see anybody, and they're like, oh, maybe they're gonna go on TB and we'll catch like 1 hero here. Like I don't understand what the idea would be if it's not that. But Liquid is all here. So kill Bane again. I don't know what to say about that. So his team, wait. So TB pushes very aggressively bottom. So they see the Wyvern bottom. So the team decides to go in. They don't have the Wyvern there. This is a really nice play actually. Like showing the Wyvern mid and then still sticking around here on your other heroes is like kind of nuts when Liquid. Poor play there. And so notice where Dubu TPs is really nice. Like he is looking to play away from his team because you're a setup hero. So he's just gonna look for anybody like the Spectre. The Spectre just can't be here because of the Bane respawn. Even if he didn't have a Night Stalker, like the team can make their way down here. So I think Ana's gonna die here. The Manta comes out, and then he's scared. Interesting. So they didn't like want to full commit there. I guess they were worried that like Wyvern was gonna like show up, or like the other 2 heroes were gonna show up. Maybe they were like baiting it a little bit. I don't think they were. I think they were just like kind of giving Liquid respect, but that's not what was happening. That was the attempt. In a pub, that play for sure works because you're not like that worried about like you're not giving that much respect to like the teammates of the enemy. But look at where he's playing again, right? He's just playing down here, looking to like set up for a pick off on like somebody, right? Like a Winter Wyvern who like stepped out of position, or anybody that's not like tied, basically.
Scanning.
It's like almost like a Monkey King, right? Like Monkey King support does this, except Monkey King support also pushes out waves at the same time. But then he doesn't offer a 5-second BKB precision stable, so like that's what he's doing. He's like looking for a hero to step out of position, and then he like can immediately punish. So really playing for that a lot. Maybe on Bane I should do that more. Like obviously in pro level it works better than because like your team has to be coordinated to make those plays work. But like in high level pubs, like I think it's possible. So maybe I should like go for that a little more and see how it works out. So he's drawing this line on the map to like kind of come back and then like head to their triangle. They've probably got the Aegis timer. I don't know exactly what it is. Presumably they know what it is, right? So they know it's 40 seconds left because they're like good players. So he's saying, let's chill, like dodge a little bit. Maybe we find one hero or something. A very dangerous keyboard here.
Has been killed.
I don't know if they even got the ward there, actually. The nice play with the illusions, like trying to get it, but because they've got a DD, so they're just aggressively postured here. Super dangerous, though. Yeah. So he didn't get it until just then. Or got a sentry then? I don't know. So they don't follow his lines that were drawn. He's giving up on the BKB. He's not getting any gold. He's got an Aeon Disc queued up, which makes sense too. Just don't die. Wait for the fight to happen. Wait for the Ravage to come out, and then you use your ult, right? Just gonna require patience to like get your abilities off. Here's the thing on your support, right? Like your plan has to be, how do I get my abilities off? Like, if you don't get your abilities off, you're useless. So he's aggressively positioned under this ward, kind of like just looking for a hero to show and start an advantageous fight. Expecting his team to collapse. Notice how little he's hitting creeps. He's got 17 CS at 40 minutes. Kind of like works on Bane at high level. Don't want to show like on waves or anything. And somebody shows. Oh, they have bots too. Oh my god, this TV is farm. Holy shit. So that's the play. They have a Night Stalker who connects easily. They have bots too on the TB, and they just play. He plays under the ward, and they walk under the ward, and then they get caught. So, really nice patience here. Glimmer to kite out the haunt, and then looking to like reconnect and get a grip off. So really nice patience there. That's exactly like. His items allow him to play the fight that way, and like that's kind of the only way he could effectively play the fight, right? If you don't have a defensive item, you just die to the haunt every time. So you need a way to like survive through the haunt and wait for the things to come out, and then like once those spells have come out and you're not dead, then you have like pretty free reign to like grip wherever you want. He still did die, but that was still like nice execution and like really showed how his items like came into play, and looks like they just win the whole game off the back of this fight, being like super far ahead on TV. I mean, this net worth disparity is godly. It's just, they just did not have enough farm. The Moon Shard, that's pretty pog. Just like a full damage build. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, this TV was just way too farmed. So, is the game not over? I guess they're all really low, and then there's a buyback on the Wyvern, so they like kind of respect. I wish my teams respected enemy buybacks more. It's like really important in the high level. Like the buybacks just turn and then you throw. Happens all the time. So you just play for the next Roche. Not up. Tomato just casually casting his BKB? No? Wait, he doesn't have a BKB? What happened? I don't know where his BKB went. So playing really aggressively under this ward. Again, just playing aggressively under a ward. If we kind of just are not, I don't know, they're like not respecting that like TSM would be playing right there. Micro save. And he gets a grip on the toss back. And the Ravage had already come out. Watch this a little bit slower. Just make sure we understand what's happening in the fight. So they get the start off the Nightmare, and he used the Enfeeble, which I'm sure got cracked in shells. A little if it helps. He's just waiting. He gets cursed. Aeon Disc really comes into play there. Good for Curse or Spectre. And now he's got his next round of spells. Tries to save his Night Stalker. It doesn't work. Interesting little use of the Stormcrafter. He hasn't casted any other spells yet. I think he wanted to queue off. He's just really worried about his positioning. Getting one Brain Sap off is not worth not being in position for like getting a grip off. So waits on the toss back. Winter Wyvern's an important target, which has no buyback. Totally worth using grip there. And then Glimmers. Who did Glimmer? Oh, he glimmered himself. Speculations hurts a lot. Another Nightmare to reset the fight a little bit. Ends up not going too well. Dies, but buys back. Dubu doesn't have buyback, otherwise I'm sure he would have used it, so that's probably the end of his contribution in this fight. So, pretty crazy fight. Liquid actually kind of holding down 20k. They were down like 30k gold, now they're only down 20k gold. But they did use their Ravage and Haunt and everything, and Mickey is still dead forever. So presumably we'll see like a attempt for Roche control when Dubu's up. Pick off. Alright. Now I think they're just gonna end the game. Force the buyback. Now they're gonna go for Roche. So they threaten to end off the back of a pick off. Go for Roche. And notice the full time his team was doing Roche, he was just like there, kind of taking a possible smoke gank. And if they had found him, right? He's like just nightmaring, glimmering. He has Aeon. Like his team will connect to him. So what he was doing was like okay, right? Your team's gonna connect to you if they go on you there, so you're totally happy on being in front. So being really patient again. He just casted one Enfeeble, and he glimmered and like kind of got away during the haunts. Waited for the Ravage to come out. Tomato diebacks. So they bounce. Not good. Not good at all. Wow. How did they kill Tomato and Saberlight and they're still on 22k gold? How did that not bring the net worth advantage? Oh, I guess because Zai fought back. Is that? Hold on, I'm just checking. No, Zai's not dead. That was earlier. Oh, they had gotten it back up to 30k gold somehow. Or they got it back up to 30k gold with a Roshan, I think, probably. Like a Aghanims or something? No, they got the Refresher Shard. Got it back up to 30k gold. And then off the back of 2 deaths, it goes back down to 20, 23, 24, 23. Okay. I'm like second guessing myself here. I thought I could game where they won. They're like just rolling. What did happen? Oh no. He has buyback though. Important to have buyback at this phase in the game. Use their Aegis. Holy moly. Liquid is doing a very nice job of staying in this game. Okay, so he didn't have to buy back. He's died, but at least space was made. So now he's just chilling in the base. Probably this game is so long.
Middle tower has fallen.
Oh no. Oh no. It's just all falling apart. We've all been in this spot. We've all been in this spot. Happens to the best of us, even the pros.
Regeneration.
There is only one barracks left from Liquid, but you know, that's all you need. Alright, so very important to just chill in these situations and like not leave the base. Like don't keep getting picked off. Like right. They've lost 2 heroes, and then like the Tiny got picked off and lost the Aegis, and now the Night Stalker got picked off. Like it's really important not to like chain feed these kills. So those are just all like waiting in the base. Like, alright, nobody can leave the base because they're gonna die. And we can't keep like feeding these kills. So they're just chilling, waiting. Wait for your whole team, and then like look for a play, I guess. Maybe a little smoke. It's 5.
Dire's bottom tower.
All your abilities up? No. They're not smoking. So they see Zai with like an illusion, I think. So they're just aggressively getting some vision out. Didn't need to smoke. I guess because it was nighttime, maybe? At this point in the game, smokes are very, very important. And I think they only have this one. So there's probably just like an executive call to like not waste their last smoke. Kind of get this vision while nighttime's going, because it was still nighttime, so they have the vision advantage.
Radiant are scanning.
And notice how they're just posted up under ward. It's really good late game Dota. I would say I'd maybe even want to be positioned further back than this, because like it seems like they're expecting to run up this ramp. But if they do, like, do you want to be positioned here? Like, wouldn't you want to be like back here? You can't be too far from your team, because like eventually this Spectre like could just pick up deaths and like actually insta give you, or like pop your Aeon, or like get a nullifier. You know, Glimmer and your Aeon don't do anything. So maybe he's just like worried about like not being too far from this team. You notice they're just chilling again, waiting for information. They see Boxy, who immediately blinks out. They have a gem? Yeah, they have a gem. So, big fight about to happen under this, after this Night Stalker roll is forced. So let's slow it down, maybe. So, notice patience. So if he goes for the grip on Tide, which is weird, Kraken Shell. I guess he was broken? That was the play, was he was broken, but then Marcy got a really nice dispose. Nice Stormcrafter, dodging some hits, getting some brain saps out. Wow, this is a very close fight. It looks like they just barely end up taking. And I'm sure they can get the game off this. Yeah, they do. But really important to just like see how they played that last little bit. Wait in your base for your whole team. You know, walk out, play some defensive wards, and then just sit under them. Like, do not go look out. Obviously, it helps when you have like illusions on like Terrorblade that can like go split the waves for you. Plus, they have all these racks, which like keeps the lanes pushed in. So like your lanes won't be like if you're doing that, but your lanes are terrible. Like it's kind of scary. But with like good lanes, like that's how you want to play and just be really safe. Like they cannot, not they can't, but like if they're fighting under this ward like this, like it's super hard for them to like lose the fight, right? Because they know that there's no vision for them, right? So if like Liquid tries, and you know the fight ended up kind of happening under the Liquid ward, which is what Liquid was going for. Just unfortunately the Night Stalker like started it with a D ward. So yeah, really close game. Really nice play from Dubu. What do we learn? Just kind of making those aggressive plays, looking for setup more. He got 3 points in Brain Sap and then ult, but then he went back for more points in Nightmare. So we can kind of go 2-4-1, or it looks like 3-4-1, something like that. Should probably start doing that instead of maxing Brain Sap and just see how that works. The Glimmer I think was really nice just to protect himself from the Haunt. Sometimes I think Ghost Scepter could work, but Glimmer is a bit more dual purpose than like Ghost Scepter, especially against a hero like Spectre. But like whatever items you need to like cast your spells. And his patience in the fights was really nice. Kind of going for the Aeon because he wasn't really getting a lot of money otherwise. Otherwise his BKB idea at one point could have been nice. And yeah, kind of this aggressive play like while his team's farming, which like I said, I don't think is that applicable to pubs because like in those scenarios like pubs just don't have the coordinated patience to wait like 22 minutes before they make like their first big play of the game. People like lose their minds. So yeah, really interesting game. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of that. And you know, I'll be looking to play some Bane soon and kind of look to imitate this and hopefully get a video of you guys out of like, you know, my thoughts in a Bane game and like how I go about playing it. Kind of explain to you guys like what you can take away from like my own game. So I'm gonna cut the video there. Thanks for watching.